Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Cali 9ja TV podcast all the way here in Los Angeles, California.
I'm Yusuf. How you doing? Yusuf from Cali 9ja TV podcast, all the way from KD, Nigeria, West Africa. What's going on?
Hey, man, here we are back again, back again. Man, it's been a while. It's been a couple months since our official last episode that we did together.
hmm
Everybody's been running around, and man, since the last time we did our podcast, oh my God, so much has happened. A war has jumped off in the Middle East. Um, Israel and United States attacked Iran, killed their supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei. Oh my God! They and then with his daughter-in-law, his grandchild, and so many others that were killed the very first day of the war. And
Yeah.
since then, man, so much has happened. Iran um, went back on an offensive to attack U.S. bases across the Middle East, and they were able to successfully cause a lot of damage. They bombed Israel, Tel Aviv, all kind of places in Israel. United States bombed all kind of sites in Iran. Man, so much has happened. The Strait of Hormuz was closed down. Iran shut it down, put a threat to global shipping. That's where
Hmm.
20% of the oil of the world goes through, putting a strain on all of us. I'm sure you guys have all felt it since then. It's not something new. I'm sure everybody has experienced effects
Yeah.
of it one way or the other. So man, so
You've,
much has gone on, man. The world is still here. It hasn't completely blown to bits and pieces. That's why we're here
yeah.
to talk about what's been going on. So what's
I
your
think
perspective
you.
on this, bro?
I think you forgot to talk about the school that was bombed in Iran too. On that
Day
first day, they
one,
had,
the first
yeah,
day, you're right. The
kids,
school was bombed.
some kids, and it's
161 children were killed. Girls. A girls' school
wow.
was hit near a military base, they said, but they're saying, why did the United States hit it? And they said it was hit with a Tomahawk missile. And they killed
Hmm.
161 children
Wow.
along with several of their teachers. So
That's
that was the
that's
very first
crazy.
day of the war. That was a very
That's
bad way to
crazy.
start the war. So
Honestly.
the Western already already the Western media, the Western governments already started on a bad foot, and they already had public pressure against them. They didn't have public support because overwhelmingly of the American public was against this war because they kept peddling it to the media. They kept talking about it, and everybody kept saying, don't go to war with Iran, do not attack Iran, because they knew it was going to be for Israel, and it was American troops that they wanted to go into this war. And since then,
Hmm.
man, it seems like it's
Crazy.
been all downhill since then. Nothing good has come out from this. Nothing good.
You see, oil prices have soared globally. Even here in Nigeria, the price of buying a liter of fuel is it has the price has skyrocketed. It's just
Mm-hmm.
crazy. This thing is
Wow.
is causing a strain on everybody.
Yeah.
This, and it's supposed to be a war between Israel, Iran, and America, but unfortunately, even here in Africa, we're feeling the effects. And the
Yes.
Strait of Hormuz is still being closed, right?
Yeah, because we had in between this time we had a ceasefire. There was a
Yeah, that
ceasefire
was.
agreement that was held in June, last month in June. And just this week, the war broke out again because um, they said all sides are blaming each other that they're not been adhering to the ceasefire agreements.
Wow.
So the war has jumped back off again. Ships are not safely going through the Strait of Hormuz. Ships have been attacked. Um, Facilities, U.S. facilities, like in Kuwait,
Yeah,
they said
military
A
bases.
large
Yeah,
military
military
naval base
bases.
was hit in Kuwait, Bahrain. The United States has said they bombed so many key areas, targets in Iran. And there
Hmm.
was just recently, this is right after the funeral of the Ayatollah that was murdered, that was killed at the
Last week.
beginning of the war. So they said this is the largest funeral ever in history, in human history, that is recorded. They said it was at least up to
What?
15 million people.
What? It
They said
happened
it's the
last week,
largest.
right?
Yes, last
Yeah.
week. Yes, last week. And they've, unfortunately, now the United States and Israel, they have brought the Iranians closer together. In fact, they have created more allies for Iran because Iran now has become like a global power because
Hmm.
they've been able to hold off the largest military, the largest attack dog in the world. They've been able to hold it off and constrain it to an extent using
Yeah. The
tactics,
US
and they've been ready for
too.
this for a long time. And Israel is the one that has convinced the United States, under the leadership of President Donald Trump, to wage this war against public opinion. Even his own
Opinion.
supporters did not want it. Majority of the polls did not want it, and now it's going downhill. Stocks are crashing, even though the elite, they're making their money. They're becoming richer and richer, while the poor
Yeah.
are just suffering all of this. Food prices
Defense
are through the
contracts.
roof.
Hmm.
You mentioned the liter of gas. We go by the gallon. A gallon of gasoline here is almost, in where we buy gas in California, we have the highest gas rates, but it's up to almost $6 a gallon. You know,
Wow.
it went almost six
Wow.
dollars a gallon is what we buy gas for. So we don't even go out. You have to plan wherever you're gonna go. When you're gonna go somewhere, you have to think, what do I need to do in that area that I'm going to, so that you can do everything at once. You know,
Wow.
because and a lot of people have ditched their cars and have started using public transportation
Oh, most
because the gas
definitely.
prices are ridiculous right now. People can't afford it, and the price of food has shot up so high, so people are just buying things moderately. You know, you can't even go and just go splurge out and do a large grocery list anymore. You know, things are hard. So, like you said, in Africa, in Nigeria is affected, and we're here too. It's affecting us tremendously. And they said that's the reason they did the ceasefire, was because elections are coming up. So it's a bad electoral situation for these guys in office. So that's why they're trying to figure out a way. And the midterms are coming up, so which the
Oh.
Congress can flip. So the Congress are
Hmm.
very angry with what's going on, because now, because the Congress wasn't involved, they weren't asked, they didn't vote for this
Yes.
war. The war, they just launched it on their own.
Hmm.
So, yesterday a vote went by because they were trying to merge the United States military with the Israeli military, and it didn't go through. Thank
Are
God for
you
that,
serious?
because yes, they were trying to merge the U.S.
Wow.
military and the United States military, Israeli military, together into one. That means there will be one entity. Can you
Hmm.
imagine? They're trying to do it because public sentiment has turned against them dramatically. So they're trying their hardest to change the laws before
Okay.
they
The
lose
election.
completely, because
I
they know that
understand.
this is their last chance to do whatever it is that they're trying to do. This is their last chance. So Congress blocked it because the public is against it. Many of these senators and House of Representatives, their constituents are attacking them when they do town hall meetings. They're being yelled at, they're being cursed out in public. So they voted against it. But Thomas Massey, a Republican from Kentucky, who recently was defeated by APAC for his reelection, because APAC put so much money into the election against him, because he's been so much against the Israeli occupation. He's been so much like against the policies. He's like America first. And he was a Trump ally, but he became Trump's enemy, and they were
Hmm.
successful in putting the most money they've ever put up to sponsor his opponent, to remove him from that seat. So he's there
Wow.
till November. So he brought a bill to stop the $3.8 billion that goes to Israel every year, and that vote was casted today, but he lost. They still want to keep giving them the $3.8 billion. And they keep saying it's
Every
for America's interests to protect America, but they know it's a lie. You know,
protect America against what?
against they created these boogeymen and for Americans. They keep saying America, you're at risk. There's all these people they want to kill America. They chant death to America. They chant death to the United States. The Iranians, Hezbollah, Hamas, all the they don't even talk about the reasons why these people are chanting these things. Of course, you've just obliterated somebody's entire family you know.
Yeah,
And Iran has come out multiple times and been saying during this war, they've been using their own propaganda and saying, we don't hate the American people. It's the American government that they do not like. So they say they want to make a distinction. It's not the American people, it's the Zionist regime that they're against. It's just like
that's true.
Israel, the Zionists have hijacked Judaism. It has nothing to do with Judaism because Judaism is the total opposite. Because the real Jews,
Hmm.
they're opposed to what their government is doing, and
Hmm.
they're targets to their government. They're
As
targets.
well. As
Yeah,
well.
but they don't want the American public to wake up because that's their piggy bank. That's their purse. So once their purse wakes up and that's who's conducting the war for them right now. It's America. That's why they're saying
Yeah.
the US in Iran war. You see how they've removed Israel from the title?
Yes.
It's not
Yes.
US Israel Iran war. Now it's
No,
US
it's
in
US,
Iran war.
Iran.
Why is the United
That,
States at war with Iran for God's sake? It's because of Israel. Because Israel wants to expand their territory. And
hmm.
and since then they have gone into invade Lebanon. They've taken over
Yes.
southern Lebanon.
Syria.
They've continued bombing Gaza. They've continued killing the
Syria.
Palestinians
Yes.
during a ceasefire. Why? They're doing what they want to do. And they know the world is waking up.
Israel has been expanding its territory, like you said, occupying everywhere. But it's really unfortunate. US's role in this whole thing, it gets you wondering, Mokali. US is always sending troops to other countries, trying to subdue them, maybe sort of like a double standard, if you ask me, saying the leadership of such
Mm-hmm.
country, you're oppressing other people. But what's the difference with what they say about other, especially in Africa? Or like, take an example, this Ukraine
Mm-hmm.
Russia uprising. What's the difference with what they are doing? What has Iran done to the US?
Mm-hmm.
And it gets you wondering, this whole thing, it's as if they want to bring humanity to an end, because the way things are going,
Yeah.
it's not going to stop at just Israel, US, and Iran, because other people are going to chip
Yeah.
in. And all this, if you ask me, it's an economic warfare. It's all about expansion of
Yeah.
territory for Israel. For US, I think it's about the
Yes.
energy crisis, oil, and all of that. you know
Oil. Yep. Oil. They want to take over.
the Straits of
Iran is the
Hormuz.
like last Middle Eastern country that is defiant, that is resisting,
And
and Israel wants to take over. They have the Greater Israel Project, which is to expand their borders all the way to the Nile and the
hmm,
Euphrates. They basically want to take over everything. They have a project, a map that they've designed for Israel, the Greater Israeli Project, who will take over that entire Middle Eastern region.
hmm,
You know,
wow.
and and a lot of the Arab leaders are
Of
helping them.
course they are.
They've been signing deals with them. You know, we didn't even we because the last time we had our podcast, we talked about the Epstein files, and you notice that they were able to successfully implement this war so that they can get the Epstein files out of the
Hmm.
news. Nobody's really
The
talking
Epstein
about the
files
Epstein
anymore.
files
True.
anymore. And that was exactly, and that's what we were discussing the last time,
Yes.
that they're going to create a
And they
distraction.
have.
They're going to start a war, and exactly what we were saying is what
True.
happened. That they're talking about war. They want to create a distraction. They will do whatever they can. They will even end the world if they could. They would kill everybody if they
Hmm,
could, just to eliminate this Epstein files
hmm.
drama. And look at, they started a war, you know?
Yeah.
Basically, they started a world war because China and Russia are watching.
Closely, no,
They have become allies to
North
Iran.
Korea as well.
You know, it's a proxy
Mhm.
war, North Korea as
Mhm.
well. And that's why they're saying that North Korea is only because they have nuclear weapons. That's why nobody bothers
Mm.
them. So in the event of Iran, it's like they keep saying that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. Well, why does Israel have
Exactly.
nuclear weapons?
Exactly.
And they have not disclosed their nuclear weapons program. They have illegally acquired nuclear weapons from stolen information from spies that they sent into the United States to steal nuclear secrets.
Mm. It's on foot.
And there's a Israeli United States spy, Jonathan Polak, who was caught and convicted of spying for Israel, and he was convicted in the United States, and Trump pardoned him in his first term. And this guy got a welcoming he got a welcome from the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the airport when he returned to Israel.
Hmm.
And this guy is taking pictures with the U.S. Ambassador Mike Huckabee, which Tucker Carlson has been asking questions. Why is this guy? He asked him, "Why did you meet that guy?" Like he was like, "Oh, I knew him." He had no answer. He was basically saying he was his friend. He had nothing to do with him spying, and but he's like, "Yeah, but he's a traitor. He's a traitor to the United States. He's a treasonous person. You're not supposed to even be seen with him as a government official,
Hmm.
you know?" So that tells you everything you
Of
need to know.
course.
This guy was pardoned,
Of course.
and released for stealing secrets, giving it to Israel, which in turn Israel sold to Russia, America's adversaries.
Wow. So it's
It's
so
crazy.
Israel is just dancing in between, trying to get everybody to kill everybody.
To kill everybody while they take over, basically. You have the likes of Candace Owens who have been speaking out. She has become one of their number one enemies. Of course, Tucker Carlson, he has become their number one enemy now because they've been speaking since the Gaza genocide, which has continued up to
Hmm.
today. They've been speaking against what's been going on. Megyn Kelly, all these American
Wow.
conservatives have become their problem because they are the Trump supporters who have now turned against Trump because they see what Trump's really about. And they're taking a lot of followers with them. So they become the biggest problem to the Zionist regime because they are waking up all these Americans who always follow them, the evangelical
Yeah.
Christians. A lot of them have been waking up. Charlie Kirk. That's why the issue of Charlie Kirk's murder came
Hmm.
up. That he was being silenced because he started speaking up. He started speaking up against Israel. He started speaking it up against the government of Israel. And he's a known Christian Zionist. And he was murdered. And there's so much. The trial of his murder is accused murderer, Tyler Robinson, is underway right now, which there's so many holes in it, you know? I mean, that's a whole nother
It
topic.
is.
We have to follow the trial to see what's coming out from it. Candace Owens is doing a lot of coverage of it because she was very close friends with Charlie Kirk. So she has made it she's their biggest problem right now because she has put so much information out there and she has done so much investigation. I think even more than the feds themselves because the investigation is questionable. Happen with Candace. We'll see what's going to happen. The trial is on right now with Tyler Robinson. Candace Owens has been exposing a lot. We'll probably have to do a whole series of episodes on that as we
Mm-hmm.
monitor the trial because the trial just seems like it's a sham. So many things are gonna come out though, but Candace Owens has exposed a lot because they were friends with Charlie Kirk, and the wife is
Hmm.
suspect too. So I don't want to say too much on that case because it's right now in court, and we'll see
Yeah.
what happens. But I mean, it just looks like he was a target for a reason, not for the initial reason that they claim. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see, man. This war is just taking a toll, man, and we hope that all peace reigns, like prevails at the end of the day, because just the average
Yeah.
man and woman are suffering. The common man,
Honestly,
they are getting
it's not
richer. Stocks are going up for them, you know.
It's
So
not going to turn out well, man. It's not going to turn out well.
no, it
We
isn't.
don't need another. We don't need another world war now.
Yeah,
We
we
don't.
don't. We don't. Man,
We
these are
don't.
it's crazy because we spoke about this. That's
Mhm.
Epstein files. What's in those files? They will try their best to bury those files, even with war,
Mhm.
even with nuclear war, and God forbid that there's a nuclear war because
Yeah,
we are on the surface.
it's
They will run
true.
underground. We are on the surface. So,
True. You
well,
know, this Epstein files you mentioned, I saw earlier, that I think there was this US, there's this person that died that they was supposed to be like a warning to Donald Trump because
mm,
they had this ceasefire so that Israel killed him, and it
yeah,
was a warning to
you're
Trump.
talking about Senator Lindsey Graham who died yesterday
Senator
or day before.
Graham,
He died
Senator
day before.
Graham,
He
yeah,
died day before
Senator
yesterday.
Graham,
Yes, and he's a
yesterday.
pro. I don't know because he's such a pro Israeli person. He was the one who pushed the war. He's the one that has.
Yeah,
But it's possible. Anything's possible
anything is
because
possible.
like you
And
said,
you
they wanted
know,
a ceasefire, and now the war has just kicked off like crazy. You know?
exactly. And you know, Trump is an erratic fellow. You know, you can never predict him. But
Yes.
like, there was a time he was even throwing jabs at Netanyahu after the
Yes.
ceasefire, and then all of a sudden he
Yes.
just returns, guns blazing and all.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep. And he
I
came.
have
Yep.
personally, I've always felt, they have a lot on him, especially in those Epstein's files, that
Yes.
he don't want those things to get out. So they're using that against him to make him do their bidding.
I
That's the
agree.
way I look at it.
I believe that's true because, like you said, all of a sudden he made a complete U-turn after he was talking about ceasefire and he was throwing jabs, and then y'all, even the vice president, were throwing jabs and warning Israel to be careful. We're the
Yeah.
ones who are protecting you. We're your best allies. And Israel was like, man, you better watch out. You know, telling them who's boss. We already know who's in charge of the who's in charge. The United States has been hijacked from by a foreign government.
Hmm.
That's not even like make believe
Debatable.
anymore. That's not debatable. That's like it's evidently in your face. If you can't see it, then you completely in denial or you just naive. So
Hmm.
anyway, we're touching up, man. We're back at it. So we just want you
Yep.
guys to stay tuned and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and tell us
Share.
what you think.
Hmm.
U.S.,
True.
Iran, Israel. Let's leave Israel. Let's
Israel.
not keep Israel out because Israel is the whole reason because of this. The media narrative wants to remove them. Nah, nah, nah. Keep your eyes on the prize.
Hmm.
Israel, U.S. versus Iran war. That's what's going on right now. So
That's a double team.
double team. So like, comment, subscribe as usual, and tell us what you think in the comments. I'm Mo Cali 9ja TV from Los Angeles, California.
Yusuf from Cali 9ja TV from KD, Nigeria, West Africa. You know, stay tuned, be with us, like, share, comment, and subscribe. We got you. Take care of yourself.
Peace.